Hey guys, Pro1701 here, and I had this nice little mini 10th Dr. Sonic screwdriver a friend of mine got for me. Like, here's my regular one. You can see the size. I don't know, it's so much brighter though. I absolutely love it. Anyway, today we are going to be looking at my least favorite story from each of the modern Doctors in Doctor Who. Now, I've already done a list looking at my least favorite story for each of the classic Doctors. You can check that one out if you haven't yet. Today we're going to be looking at the modern Doctors. Now, I am going to, as I mentioned in the classic video, I'm going to mention these aren't necessarily their worst stories, just my least favorite, because I do think there's a difference between worst and least favorite. Worst to me is more of an objective term, whereas least favorite I think is more subjective and can vary by the individual. So I'm the same way with favorite and best. To me, those aren't interchangeable terms. Like for instance, you know, Matt Smith's best story might not be my personal favorite story by him. Although in this case, I do think it's the same story. But like for instance, I think the best post regeneration story is the 11th Hour, but my favorite post regeneration story is Robot, for example. So we're going to be looking at what is subjectively my personal least favorite story for each modern Doctor. And we're going to start off with Christopher Eccleston with the Unquiet Dead. This isn't a bad story by any means. The Ninth Doctor doesn't really have any bad stories. Series 1 is one of the best series/seasons in all of Doctor Who. It doesn't really have any duds in it. It's just this one unnerves me. The actors playing the zombies are so good. The makeup and the lighting and the effects on that story is so good. I find it unnerving. It really, really unnerves me. I remember the very first time I watched this story, I was in my 20s, and it still just scared the crap out of me, basically. I had trouble sleeping that night. And I've only watched it a couple times since. Every time it just, I don't know, it just hits that spot in me where the hairs on my neck, stand up. It just really unnerves me. And because of that, it's my least favorite. I can't really go back and watch it. Now, the next one on the list is terrible, and that is Fear Her, the 10th Doctor story, Fear Her. That is probably my least favorite Tennant story. It really was hard to nail this down because he does have several duds, but Fear Her I think is the worst. The little girl acting in it just doesn't strike me as very good, and that voice she uses when the Thing is talking through her, the voice that they chose to use for that is awful and grating and claws on chalkboard bad, and the whole time I'm listening to it, I'm just like, Now I know what you're thinking. Don't sugarcoat it, Prowl. Tell us how you really feel. That is me sugarcoating it. This is the PG version of it. This episode is just uninteresting. I don't care for it, and it's one of the reasons why I can never have one of those. I'm going to watch every episode of Doctor Who. Ha ha. I can't, because there are going to be episodes in Doctor Who I have to skip, and this is the 10th Doctor's I would have to skip. It's just that awful. I wouldn't subject myself to that ever again. Moving on to the 11th Doctor, and this one's a little trickier. Trying to remember the one I actually picked. Night Terrors, that's what it was. Night Terrors. It's really hard because there's several of the 11th Doctors I don't really care for. But Night Terrors is probably the one I don't ever go back and rewatch. There's others I've complained more about, like the God Complex. But as I've mentioned, every time I complain about the God Complex, I always mention that it's executed really well. I can't actually watch it just because I can admire how well it's directed, how well the cinematography's done in it. Night Terrors is just bad. I don't care for it. The story I think is stupid. It's the one Matt Smith story I don't know if I've ever seen more than once or twice. I watched it the first time it aired, and I think I've watched it once since, because I was dating a girl, and we were slowly going through the series, and I'm pretty sure we watched every episode that was out at the time, so I'm pretty sure I saw it a second time there. But I don't care for Night Terrors. It just bleh, bleh, bleh. Don't like it. Capaldi's Kill the Moon. Kill the Moon is quite possibly the worst story in all of Doctor Who. I've gone on about Kill the Moon before. It's just stupid. I don't understand how this story even got greenlit. Like, seriously. I'm sitting here thinking there are just everyday fans like us who can do better than that. There's Doctor Who fan fiction out there that's a gajillion times better than that. It's just dreadful. Dreadful. It ticks me off to realize somebody got paid to turn out that. Ooh. The BBC should demand their money back. Then again, they were stupid enough to greenlight it. They're stupid enough to lose their money for it. And then the 13th Doctor, this one was also really hard to pick because there are some duds in there. I was tempted to go with It Takes You Away because I thought that one was really stupid. The Witchfinders is really stupid. The Battle of Ranko, Who Gives a Crap, was really stupid. But I'm going to go with The Timeless Children, just because it really shits the bed so bad. Not just because of the, a lot of people get mad because of the pre-Hartnell Doctor stuff. And yeah, that kind of sucks, but it doesn't tick me off as much as some of the other stuff. Like the Tecteun character I just find unnecessary and silly. The fact she's murdering the Doctor over and over and over is not good. The fact that the Doctor is Space Jesus is really annoying and not even really a Time Lord. That's terrible, terrible retcon. The Cybermen once again getting made the Master's bitch really ticked me off, especially since I really enjoyed episodes 8 and 9 of Series 12. Thought the Cybermen were going to be potentially awesome again, and then they get ruined in Timeless Children. And there's something else that just slipped out of my mind. There's something else. The fact that Cybermen all get destroyed by one massive bomb just right there at the end. The Cyber Time Lords is so stupid. They can regenerate, but they're dead. Why didn't they regenerate when they died? So when they died, they didn't regenerate. But now that they've been turned into cyber Time Lords out of their corpses, suddenly their regeneration powers work again? I'm as confused by this episode as I am by a lot of the stuff going on in Rise of Skywalker. The Timeless Children reminds me a lot of Rise of Skywalker. It's a whole lot of spectacle, but the more you actually stop and think about it, the more it doesn't make any sense. And it's like the episode knows it, much like Rise of Skywalker knows it, because it keeps trying to throw stuff at you so you don't have time to actually think about it. Rise of Skywalker was like that. Wait a minute, that doesn't make any... Ooh, there's Lando. Well, that doesn't make any... Ooh, there's Wedge. Things like that. This one's like that, too. Every time you turn around, there's some new ooh moment. Because it doesn't want you to actually stop and think about it for a second, because then you realize, this is really freaking stupid. So, yeah, Timeless Children, just because it's all around garbage. So that's been my list of each Modern Doctor's, my least favorite episode by each Modern Doctor. So what do you think of my list, and what is your least favorite episode of each Modern Doctor, and why is that episode your least favorite episode? I always like when people tell me why they feel the way they do about stuff like that. So comment down below. I always enjoy starting discussions and finding out what you guys think of things. Other things to do, click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications. I do a new video daily, so you'll get a nice notification for that. I've also started a Patreon page, and for the entire month of May, even my lower tiers, my $2 tier and my $5 tier, also get access to stuff that's usually only toward the $10 tier and above. Things like behind-the-scenes videos, bloopers and outtakes, and polls and stuff to vote in. Plus, every person who joins at any tier level gets a free video request. So I actually have a couple video requests I have to do. I have a couple new patrons. I have to do, one of them wants me to do a review of The Horror of Fang Rock, which is a fantastic story. I'm looking forward to that. And another one wants me to do a review of Suntaran Experiment, which is from my favorite season of Doctor Who ever. So I'm also looking forward to that, especially since I haven't given it a good watch in a while. So those will be coming soon. So if there's a video you might like me to do, just pop in there. Even a $2 tier membership gets you one free video request, and it gets you access to all of that other stuff for the rest of May. So there's a link to that down below. Check that out. Most importantly though, stay safe out there, and thank you for watching.